So 18 is y equal square root of x minus 7. We're going to find x values here. However, you have to understand with root functions. Next week we start practicing how to graph. Okay, look. You guys know you cannot put a negative number into a square root, right? So if I type in the square root of -1, I get, right, rejected. It's error. If I put in the square root of -2, rejected, right? If I put the square root of -10, rejected. Okay, but if I put the square root of 0, 0. If I put the square root of 4, 2. Square root of 9, right? See how pretty it is? If I get the square root of 5, it's SD 2.2, right? Okay, so you'll get taught that eventually we'll do complex numbers or imaginary numbers, but you cannot, this calculator will not allow you to put a negative radicand because it's imaginary numbers. It's a little baby I, lowercase I. You might have seen it in im3. So that's why. So the condition here is, where's the paper at? Let me see. I'm borrowing yours. Okay, and so that's why they give you, I know you guys have all this stuff, this condition of the domain y is greater than or equal to -7. So that's why there's that domain. I couldn't find mine, so I had to grab my list. All right, so look, here we go. You're going to put 0, 1, and 4. And that's because that way we do not get kicked out and rejected by the calculator. We're not going to put in a negative input so we don't get rejected by the calculator. And now we're going to solve it. Okay, so if I let x equal 0, I get rad 0 minus 7. So if I rad 0, and just like with Desmos, right now if I go -7, see how the radical grew? So if I go rad 0, I, just like in Desmos, you either have to use the arrow or you have to get the cursor of like your mouse and move it over, or you go to the right. And so now you can see your cursor moved. So now -7, and so now that 7 is a k value, it's not an h value, okay? And so I get -7. So what's the square root of 0? 0. By the way, 0 is always a positive number, never a negative number. Okay, if I throw in 1, so delete 1, what's the square root of 1? 1. So 1 minus 7 is -6. And then, and you guys aren't obligated to graph it by a table. Typically, you guys would use Desmos. I'm just doing this because I can't record the video because of Desmos, so I'm doing it by hand. Okay, -5. So rad 4 minus 7, the square root of 4 is 2, so 2 minus 7 is -5. Okay. So fair enough, right? Okay, so there's our XY table. All right, so I could be wrong on this function, but I'm not. But if I just understand the relationship between the points, I know that what y is x and what x is y, right? All you do is switch the points, okay? So now if you come to the graph, can I go to the graph? Yeah? So it's going to cover it. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. So if I come to the graph and I plot these, you're going to see that they are the diagonal fold or the diagonal reflection. And all right, so what do I get? I'm doing pink. So 0, -7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, -6, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, -5. Okay. And so this is my original function. So y equal rad x minus 7. That's the pink. And then by me switching the points, 0, -7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, bless you, negative 6, 1, and was it negative 5, 4? Negative 5, 4. 4. And so, okay. Oh, sorry, thanks. Oh, you need the, okay, let me sign it. I don't know what to put. All right, thank you. So, oh, you can't even see it. I'm writing. Sorry, you guys. Okay, so there's my root function, and this is my inverse function, and they are the inverse of one another, because if I was to fold it diagonally, right? Right, so there's my there's my inverse function, and if I'm looking, it looks exactly like where that pink is located, right? So there it is. So it's now horizontally growing, it's shifting down into the 4th quadrant, and that's exactly what I have. And if you kind of, let's see, you can see it laying on top of it, like it's almost peeling away. So it's correct. All right, eventually I'll shut this off right now. I'll go into Desmos. Obviously when you go into Desmos and you type this in, you're gonna get the other side of the parabola. You're gonna get this left side. But it's not there because if you only started with y is greater than or equal to negative 7, because remember this is negative 7, it has to pass the vertical line test, right? The vertical line test says it can only cross the function once. So you cannot pick up this bottom half because then it crosses twice and it's no longer a function, okay? So when you fold it, if you're only dealing with the positive, I know there's no positive here, but you're only dealing with the positive, that means you only have that side. Had you only had the negative, then you would have only had the left side of this parabola. But when you type it into Desmos, you're going to see the entire parabola. Fair? Yeah. Okay, leave it here or the work, or are you guys good? Does anyone need to copy it, or I just stop it? Stop it? Oh, you need to? Okay. Wait, like a lot or a little? Okay, yeah. Oh, because that's just a number I picked. Because 4 is a perfect square. What's the square root of 4? 2, so let's not deal with it. I mean, we could have put 5, but it would have been like 2.23. You would have got a number. Because remember, you have to take the square root of the number. So I would have picked like 9 because it's 3, 16 because it's 4. Like, I mean, you can use a calculator, but mental math. Oh, where did Mason go?
They went to the soccer.
The doctor?
Soccer?
Oh, to find out.
Maybe.
Oh, because I was wondering if they could buy the